See if that helps out with it. If maybe that'll get it. Shout out to old Roscoe Chicken and Waffles. Hopefully we don't have the first 25 minutes of this stream just being silent, but you never know. Could be true. Wouldn't be the first time in life. Always having issues. Oh, nice to see the comments pop up on it too. Nice to have. Hopefully, hopefully that resolved it. I think so though. When I look at the microphone thing now, it kind of acts like it's talking. So hopefully we get there. Tried to do a new set of headphones to help with the audio, and I don't know if it's worked or not. I don't know if it's gotten there. We'll try to see. But I do appreciate it anytime we get comments helping out technical difficulties, because you never know when you're streaming and there is some and you're doing it and it's not working. And it's funny because like I see that there's like 10 viewers, and then you don't know until you see it, until you actually get someone to comment and be like, But anyway, just in case there hasn't been audio and you wanted to know, we are picking the Patriots versus the Seahawks, and I am going Patriots, giving them the kiss of death. I want the Seahawks to win. I want them to give revenge for passing instead of running, even though they don't deserve it. The football gods are not going to bless the Seahawks with a Super Bowl. It's not going to happen. I just don't see it. They don't deserve one. They did. If they get pressure on Drake May, they could get done. It could happen. I don't think they get pressure though, but it is a possibility. It can happen. I just don't know if the football gods are going to allow the Seahawks to get their revenge for such a terrible decision to pass the ball instead of running. Super Bowl MVP was going to be Marshawn Lynch. And if Russell Wilson makes a touchdown pass, towards the end of the game, wins the game, he's got the option, got the opportunity to be the Super Bowl MVP. You can give it to him even though you know it's Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch had been winning them the game all game. Almost had a touchdown on like the play before, and instead of going back to the well, where you're like, look, there's like very few running backs in the history of the NFL you'd rather give the ball on short yardage situation than Marshawn Lynch. There may be a dozen guys you might name before him, tops. And there's going to be people that are picking Marshawn Lynch over them even. Like, crazy to think about. It's wild to know that that's what's going on in the world. We're getting there though. Shout out to Rumble for letting us stream on multiple different places. Like, we haven't used them in a hot minute, and it's been a while, but it's nice to be back. And I hope that people will look at different ways and different revenues to stream, because there's more than one out there. It happens. It happens well. And the only problem with the Rumble Studio is they don't let you stream vertically. And the vertical stream on YouTube is such a difference maker. It makes a huge difference, I believe. And but it's all right. We got enough subscribers on YouTube. It's always nice to grow on different channels. Nice to see people do different things in different places. Different giants will grow eventually. You see Titans come and go all the time. Once was big, it was not always true. Look at J.C. Penney. I don't know why I'm talking about J.C. Penney on Football Sunday. I feel like I'm getting off track. That's how you know your boy's just rambling on. But maybe my mic wasn't working, so I should have checked the microphone audios. Wonder why it's not doing it, why it didn't do it. Sometimes I feel like it's not doing it, period. It's crazy. That's what you get for getting fancy headphones. Uh, let's see if I can't help with the audio at all. Try to step it up as best as I can. I've got all the little options turned on, so hopefully that helps. I'd like to get some comments letting me know who you're gonna win. Who's winning today, folks? The comments are slow today. How are you watching? We got 3 streams going: Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. It is interesting to realize that I have not streamed on Rumble for a whole year. Took a whole year off. Coming back though, coming back strong. And they just introduced shorts, so we'll see if we start making some noise on that one. Your boy does good typically with those. That's where we got most of the subscribers from. A lot from the live streams, though. It will be interesting to see what happens. I wonder what the over under. I haven't looked it up. I'm betting the under. Whatever it is, I'm going under. I think we're seeing a defensive. It is going to be a snooze bowl of a Super Bowl. I'm excited to watch Bad Bunny. I know a lot of people are not. I wonder if people are going to prefer the Kid Rock TP USA or whatever they call it halftime show, which man, Kid Rock, you could not find a more interesting artist to try to choose for a Christian organization like TP USA is. Like, come on. But I guess you got to pick someone, you know. The backlash for Kid Rock is it seems like he's losing a lot of concerts there. So it'll be interesting to see if this is a net positive or a net negative for him taking this. Like I'm sure they paid him good. I would imagine he might even take a little discount. I could see him taking a deal for them type deal. I know for Bad Bunny, it's not a typical payout for a performance. He usually makes more. I mean, and think about what Bad Bunny does is a lot of people hate on him, but he brings a lot of attention to Puerto Rico, which is a United States territory. Like those are United States citizens there. If you're living in Puerto Rico, you can't vote, but a Puerto Rican can move to New York, Puerto Rican can move to Florida, and they're voting, and they don't need a visa to move. Nothing special. They literally hop on an airplane and bam, they can vote. There's more Puerto Ricans outside New York than Puerto Rico, I believe. Like, you know what I mean? There's more Puerto Ricans voting than not. Like, it's crazy to think about. People just forget that that's part of America, part of the global community. And there's nothing wrong with the only part that I'll agree with that makes it hard to support the Bad Bunny thing is it's going to be in Spanish, right? And your boy speaks like 12 words of Spanish. So that does make it a little rougher, but it's just part of like expanding your horizon. Like it's like trying new food. I understand you really like burgers and fries, but if you've never had sushi, like you can't say you don't like sushi until you try it. Like, have you tried that stuff? You know what I mean? Have you got into that situation where you're like okay, I understand some things you know you're not gonna like, you know, but no reason to not give it a chance, you know. I and I would also say at least it's not a rapper. You know, they've changed it up. Not that there's something wrong with a rapper performing at the halftime show, but they're expanding their horizon. And this is a global event. You know, there's more people watching the Super Bowl on an international stage than on a typical football game. So this is a way for them to kind of expand their brand as well. Like you can't forget that. It's it's not hard to do. And it's not hard to just expand your horizon. And anyway, it's halftime. Like, aren't you supposed to be fixing your plate of wings? Aren't you supposed to be making some rotel? You know, fixing your plate, going to the bathroom. Half the time, I don't even watch the halftime show in the first place. It is entertaining. You know, it's going to be a concert. And look, the chances of me watching a Bad Bunny show are pretty slim in the first place. So at least gives me a chance to give him a chance. And why don't we do that more as a society, really? And we got to give the Patriots a chance to win the Super Bowl somehow because they're 4.5 point favorite dogs. Like, let's be honest, dogs in this event. Like, there's no way that I think we just run away with this for the Seahawks, right? They got to make it interesting. Can we make it interesting? See, a lot of people say 10 point favorites, though. You know, that 10 point thing is hard not to believe. You know, it's hard not to want to root for. It's always hard not to. But I just hate the Patriots. Why do they got to win this Super Bowl, folks? Why do the Patriots have to be the ones to have success today? They've done it enough. You done kicked Bill Belichick out of the Hall of Fame. Magically, is not a first ballot guy. Robert Kraft is magically not a first ballot guy. Can't name a greater dynasty than the Patriots. And that's coming from a Chiefs fan. You cannot name a better run in all of football than what we watched Bill Belichick have. You're not going to tell me that there's five better coaches than Bill Belichick. What coach? And look, you're going to make the other flip side of the argument is there's not a lot of first ballot guys. Not a lot of guys have been numero uno. But that's not really a legit argument because if you're going to name them, Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft are in that category. They're in that conversation. They're right there with it. Like, let's be completely honest. You're not going to tell me that there's a huge gap in between what Bill Belichick's done and what is currently going on. Like, it's just not there for me. I refuse to agree with it. You know, it's just not right. They're first ballot guys. So they're going to get shown again when Robert Kraft wins another ring that hopefully he doesn't get stolen from Putin this time. That they were wrong. Robert Kraft deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. Bill Belichick deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't like neither one of them. I think it's funny, like just part of me wants to enjoy them missing. They get exactly what they deserve type situation. You little cheaters, you like just because I hate them, But like I also hated Michael Jordan, right? I'm a Sonics fan growing up. I hated Michael Jordan. You're not going to tell me that Michael Jordan is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's the same situation. Like you gotta, even if you don't enjoy their success, you gotta be able to recognize that they were successful. And it's just hard for me to go down the path of being like, nah, that ain't them. They ain't it. That ain't right. Like, is that what we're really gonna say? We're gonna really say that these are not first ballot Hall of Famers? Like how? How? And Gronk, Robert Gronkowski, former Patriots tight end Hall of Fame guy, said if Bill Belichick is not a Hall of Famer, Andy Reid ain't either. Now, I don't think that's really a fair argument, but I understand what he's trying to say. Because Andy Reid is a clearer first ballot Hall of Fame coach, in my opinion. I would argue Andy Reid is a better coach than Bill Belichick. One, look at the coaching tree. Andy Reid has developed other winning coaches, right? He's not the only one to lead. Bill Belichick's coaching tree is not extremely strong, and Bill Belichick's resume without Tom Brady is trash. Is trash. You have heard it. Bill, there is no argument for Bill Belichick that does not include the period of Tom Brady. But the reason we say without Tom Brady is because Tom Brady did exist. We don't get to magically erase decades of winning. We don't get to magically erase all those Super Bowl wins, all those Super Bowl appearances. Yes, you lost 3. Yes, you lost to Eli Manning. They put a guy in the Hall of Fame. Eli Manning will be a Hall of Fame quarterback thanks to Bill Belichick. Because it was such a big feat, such an amazing task, and on top of the top 10 stats that Eli Manning put up, he was able to take a wild card team all the way to the Super Bowl and beat Tom Brady. And you cannot take that away from him. You cannot discount that from Eli Manning. And the reason you can't discount that is because these are Hall of Fame guys. The NFL is talking about they might have to redo how they select Hall of Famers because this is such a like you cannot believe it. And speaking of which, Sam Munson might need to lose his MVP vote. Like when we're talking about it, you might need to get rid of the MVP vote. He voted for Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert got one MVP vote. And his argument was Justin Herbert did more with less. Justin Herbert did more with less. Justin Herbert has not won a playoff game. Every excuse in the book. Look, and I understand it. I don't think it is completely on Justin Herbert. I believe you put Justin Herbert on the Vikings, and suddenly you got a team. Suddenly you might win playoff games. I don't think Justin Herbert's for sale, so you can't really make the argument, well, if I was them, I'd try to get da da da. Like, that's not true. That's not what it is. That's not how we feel. That's not. You can't magically take back Super Bowls. You can't magically move people away. You can't magically say, well, he did more with less when there's nothing else to support the argument. More with less than what? What is that more equal? Voting for Justin Herbert. Get out of here. It's the same malarkey that when you see like guys like Eric Bieniemy and Steve Spagnuolo not get coaching jobs, but the teams that lose to the Chiefs magically, their offensive coordinators, their defensive coordinators, they get jobs. Like, it's real interesting how that works. It's real selective. But we have seen Steve Spagnuolo as a coach before, and it was trash. Super trash. Extra trash. Double trash. Unbelievable levels of trash. It's crazy to think about. It's interesting to see that, like, this is going to be supposed to be, crazy Super Bowl situation. Let's see. I think I'm going to change this up. Let's shout out to Rumble, man. Just the support on there alone is crazy to believe. It's nice to have a good streaming service that can broadcast to multiple places too, because kind of want to set it up where it's there. I need to do some research and set up more. This 2026, we're up in the game on the podcast. You're going to see a new background before long. That is going to be happening for me. I'm changing up the podcast studio. The beach has been nice, but I think we need more. Shout out to James Forbes McCann, Catamaran playing. On his podcast, he decided to up his game on his background and gave advice that we all should. And I plan on using that advice. Plan on taking a run with it. Need to almost check on. It'll be interesting to see what happens afterwards. We're gonna blow up. We're almost at 10,000 on YouTube. I've been stuck at like 9,500 on YouTube for a hot minute, and I'm really hoping we can hit that 10,000 mark. So if you are on Rumble, and if you do also dabble on YouTube, I know it's kind of if you're on Rumble, you typically don't use YouTube, and I don't blame you. But if you are, please give us a like on YouTube as well, because we're trying to hit that 10,000 mark. 10,000 strong would be pretty nice. Be nice to be back there again. No crazy situations going on in the NFL. And we're almost to the offseason talk. It's going to start being draft situations and draft columbines and who's going where. What's going to happen? And this could be a funky draft. It could be an interesting situation. The boys got a top 10 pick, though. And that could be dangerous for the NFL. Tom Brady never had a top 10 pick. Maybe it helps the Kansas City Chiefs. Even though I need to double check on that actually. Get what the Tampa Bay's record was before Tom Brady got there. I know they were a pretty built up situation. Let me know in the comments though. These Rumble bots always make me nervous. I always get nervous it's just bots on Rumble. Let me know in the comments who's winning today and what are you eating? What are we having for dinner? What's the super good? Are you making ribs? We got any ribs on the stream? Who's smoking? I'm not smoking any meats today. I do think that I'm doing chicken wings. Getting some wings. I'm doing some lemon pepper wings. Typically, I do rotel for the Super Bowl and football games in general. But that's only if the Chiefs are involved. So this year, since the Chiefs are taking the game off, I'm going to take the rotel Sunday off and have some lemon pepper wings and enjoy it the best I can. And excited for that. Excited to have some, but let me know what are Don't be one of these shy Rumble folks. Maybe you're watching it on your TV. I do got to give them that. There is a lot of folks that do watch Rumble on TV, and it does make it harder to communicate in that situation. And if so, shout out to y'all. I like to see it. It's always nice to have a good feeling. Excited for this Sunday game. Last game of the year. It's going to be a long break before we get football back, and it is always harder. We're typically a prediction show, so we don't usually cover general football things, but we do preseason picks and what you can do, what each team can do to rebuild and what they need. Try to do our homework, and it helps prepare for the next season and the draft. It does help the draft quite a bit. I do like to see that and have the draft in mind. It is always interesting to see who makes it where. Let's check the see if we can find any football news for today. Is there anything? I always like to kind of keep updated and stay on my toes. Hopefully the hiccups go away too. That is not what you want when you're live streaming. Let me see. Headline: Patriots star Drake May has been quietly donating scholarships to military families. That's pretty dope to see. Even though I am a veteran, right? So it is possible to give your son or kid, daughter or whatever, uh, your VA or your GI benefits. So not 100% necessary, but it is always, anytime you support vets, I'm always gonna kind of salute my hat at you. Falcons rookie first round pick James Pierce Jr. was arrested Saturday in Florida on domestic violence charges of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and aggravated stalking. And that's a great way to get suspended, folks. Besides the legal repercussions of all that, those Florida takes that stuff very serious. There's a old saying in Florida that's real similar to the Vegas one. If you go to Vegas, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And if Florida's come on vacation, leave on probation. Like they're happy to hem you up in Florida, and it is something you need to watch out for. And let me check on this one. Just realized this might not be doing what I think it is. Let's make sure we got everything hooked up right. Don't want to lose the stream on you guys. Even though I'm not sure why it's not working. I'm trying to get this going right. Sorry about the technical difficulties. There we go. That's the ding of success. Maybe here in a bit I'll try to get my bird over here. She always she's kind of camera shy sometimes. Ooh, reports that Derek Carr could possibly unretire for 2026 season, provided right situation and coaching staff. It'd be interesting. Derek Carr is an interesting guy. I don't think he should unretire. I think he should enjoy his retirement. I think his peak is long behind him. I understand he's a competitor. He's a dog. He wants to play. Derek Carr needs to go. Stay at home, bro. Don't do it. I mean, but the right coaching situation, he could be successful, and he could be one of those like if I was him, I'd be one of those guys that tries to do what Philip Rivers did and wait for a playoff team that needs a quarterback. Like I'd rather midway through the season take less of those dumps. Seahawks 14-3 versus Eagles 14-3. Shout out to both of these teams for having excellent seasons. I did not have either one of these as 14-3 win teams. Kind of underdogs outperforming expectations on both sides. Kind of like it. The Bengals are expected to move on from Trey Hendrickson. $30 million price tag too high. I'd agree. Like, where does he end up going? The situation with the Bengals has been real rocky with Trey Hendrickson for a long time, though. He wants the tag's going to be well above $30 million. They could do a swing and trade, but who's really going to, as if I'm another team, I don't want to pay him $30 million either. I'd take him, but he only had 4 sacks. Like, he's only 31, though. Like, he could be a dog. But the Bengals refuse to trade players they're not going to keep. They don't like trading players that are unhappy. Like, sometimes you got to move on. Get them while you can. Like, it's just the Bengals are a dumpster fire. Yeah, they are an absolute dumpster fire. They don't even deserve this. I hope Joe Burrow moves on. They don't deserve Joe Burrow. They've peaked. Time to move on. Do bigger, better things elsewhere. I'm just done with it. Absolutely done with seeing it. It is just, I'm not there with it. Like, let's go. Let's go. The Arizona Cardinals were founded 128 years ago in Chicago and are the oldest continuously operating professional football franchise in the United States and have made the playoff all of 11 times. The only time they've won the NFL championship was in 1925 and 1947, which no one counts. One is contested due to them playing against high school kids and the team with the best record getting suspended from the team. Like, they played a high school team. Count up. Jeez Louise. Talk about desperation. Talk about malarkey. Falcons quarterback Kirk Cousins is expected to be released before the start of the new year, allowing him to choose what he wants or if he wants to play in 2026. The most paid underachieving quarterback in NFL history. I'd retire if I was Kirk Cousins, but you know, Someone probably give him the bag for no reason. The reports are Chiefs hope to have Travis Kelce back for the 2026-2027 season. I'm going to talk to him after the Super Bowl. No doubt in my mind they get a deal done. Paying him has never been a problem, and I know a lot of people on the Kansas City side want to put an asterisk by him coming back with it being a team-friendly deal, but there's no reason to say such things, in my opinion. Like, it just is what it is. Well, folks, I think that's my stream for today. I think I'm gonna end it. Had a nice little run. But your boys ready to move on. Again, it has been the Patriots versus the Seahawks. I'm gonna give the Patriots the win because I've given teams the kiss of death all season. And I know if I pick the Patriots, they cannot win. And I hope the Seahawks do. So go Patriots, go. Show the NFL why shorting Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft was a dumb mistake on the Hall of Fame recommendations.